Lassiter Factor.
What's up, all my movie-loving maniacs? This your boy Bangful B of the Lassiter Factor, and I am back with my monthly deep dive of Spider-Man movies leading up to Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is about a month away. And this month, I'm talking about Spider-Man Far From Home, so let's review. So, Spider-Man Far From Home takes place after the events of Avengers Endgame in a post Tony Stark world in which Peter Parker, Spider-Man, he's trying to figure out how to move forward without his mentor. He goes on a vacation overseas with his schoolmates, which is quickly interrupted by the Elementals, but with the help of Nick Fury and Mysterio, Spider-Man tries to stop them, but of course, we all know not everything's afoot. And if you've seen this movie, you know who the real villain is. Now, this came out a couple of months after Avengers Endgame. I remember when it came out, and I remember liking it a lot more than Spider-Man Homecoming. And I'll tell you how I feel if I still feel that way afterwards. But like I said, I did like Spider-Man Far From Home, and watching it years removed from it, I feel a little indifferent from it, but I'm still entertained by it. But what I liked about Far From Home is that it was basically the epilogue to the Infinity Saga. Yeah, you could say Endgame was the end of the Infinity Saga, but this movie was the epilogue and also the bridge into the Multiverse Saga. And how the Multiverse Saga turned out, I'm going to let you decide on that one. But the reason I always like this more than Homecoming is because we got to see Spider-Man out of his element, and plus we got that first movie out the way, so I'm already invested with this character. And again, it's in a post-Endgame world, and so we see how he deals with that. I mean, y'all remember the meme? Everywhere I go, I see his face. Now, to me, Mysterio, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, who is an excellent actor in his own right, was always the standout to me of this movie because he seems all good at first, but then that switch happens and we know what's really going on. He created that therapeutic hologram thing for Tony Stark, which Tony Stark took over, and so now he's basically another Stark employee that wants revenge on Tony Stark. Now, I will say that's always been a negative about this movie, well, at least for the MCU Spider-Man movies, is that all the villains have something to do with Tony Stark. But again, I love Mysterio and the way he's portrayed in this movie, and even doing that switch up. And we see the sequence where he puts the illusions on Spider-Man, and I swear, when I saw that for the first time, I'm like, yo, that is something brand new that I have never seen in a Spider-Man movie, and it's almost kind of reminiscent of Scarecrow within the Batman universe. In fact, I felt like I was playing a Scarecrow level within the Batman Arkham games. Despite how abrupt it feels due to the fact that Peter Parker showed no interest in MJ in Spider-Man Homecoming, I do like that this movie puts more emphasis on Spider-Man Peter Parker falling for MJ, played by Zendaya, and the two of them, they just work well with each other, but hey, they've always had good chemistry, hence why they're now married in real life. And I've always liked Peter Parker's journey within this movie. He's trying to live up to his mentor, Tony Stark, and everybody's looking at him to lead the Avengers, and everybody's just like, no, you don't gotta be the next Tony Stark. You just gotta be the best you, the best Spider-Man. Even though this movie is really pushing for it, even right down to the AC/DC music when he's building his new suit. I remember when I saw that in the theater, I'm like, all right, come on, people. Like how Happy Hogan is more supportive of Peter Parker within this movie. And I do think him falling for Aunt May is a bit cute. As for the stuff I'm split on, I mean, I'm always down for seeing Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury, but to me in this movie, he didn't really feel like Nick Fury. Now, granted, there is a story-based reason for that, as we see in the end credit scene. Him and Maria here are actually Skrulls, and while the real Nick Fury is up in space, presumably soared with the other Skrulls. And it's the same Skrulls that we saw in Captain Marvel, as you can see, and this also kind of ties into Secret Invasion, which was on Disney Plus, and how that show turned out, I'll let you decide. And I like how the movie ends with everybody finding out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. News revealed by one of the best surprising cameos in any Marvel movie, which was J. Jonah Jameson. And it wasn't just J. Jonah Jameson, it was J.K. Simmons. To me, this is one of those comic book movie castings where that actor is just irreplaceable as this character, and I'm glad Marvel Studios brought this actor back because he's just iconic as J. Jonah Jameson. Getting back to some of my gripes with Far From Home, I mean, It's the same gripe I've had with Spider-Man Homecoming and just Tom Holland's teenager as Spider-Man in general is that his movies, at least up until the end of No Way Home, feel more like MCU movies than Spider-Man movies, and that's how I felt walking away from this movie back when it first came out, and even now, this just feels more like an MCU movie that just happens to put Spider-Man in the forefront. And as a bridge to the multiverse saga, I mean, it hardly is. I mean, it's more so a tease because we all know Mysterio, he was the real villain of this movie, and all the elementals, they were all illusions made up to basically trick the public. And so even when I saw this movie in the theater for the first time, I always kind of had that in the back of my head like, nah, this can't be it because Mysterio ain't no good guy. Overall, this was still a fun MCU movie that was a good epilogue to the Infinity Saga, but as a standalone Spider Man movie, I wouldn't put it up there with some of the best, but it still did some cool and interesting things that we've never seen in a Spider Man movie before. And with the benefit of hindsight, knowing where the Marvel Cinematic Universe is and where Spider Man is right now on his journey within the MCU movie, it's still a pretty good entry. I'm going to give Spider Man Far From Home the thumbs up emoji. Thank y'all so much for watching. Have you seen Spider-Man Far From Home? I mean, odds are you probably are, but if you have, where does this movie fall within the other Spider-Man movies that have been released? Let me know in the comment section below. This is your boy Bankful B of the Lassiter Factor. Stay safe, wash your hands, peace.